All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the AARP workshop HomeFit, hosted by the Jamestown Livable Communities AARP Committee. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have Bob Gerken presenting on HomeFit, which provides smart solutions for making your home comfortable, safe, and a great fit. This program helps people stay in the place they love as a lifelong home. Bob, I'll be happy to go through these slides for you. Just let me know when to switch. And thank you everyone for joining.
And thank you, Jamestown, for this opportunity. And if you go to the first slide, the red one, we'll get started. Good morning and welcome. My name is Bob Gerken, and I am a volunteer. Back up a slide, please. Yeah, let's stay with this one. I am a volunteer with AARP. I live in Greensboro. Today I will be talking to you about how to make your home fit. One way to make a home more livable for people of all ages is to incorporate design principles and products that are adaptable, safe, and I underline the word safe, and easy to use. Such smartly designed features are attractive, stylish, and can come in all price points. This AARP Home Fit workshop will show you some of those possibilities. Next slide, please. This session is intended to be informational and educational and does not hold any responsibility for decisions made based on the information shared during this presentation. You should always consider advice and assistance from qualified contractors. Presenters are not responsible for the consequences of any decisions or actions taken in reliance upon or as a result of the information that I am providing. And please remember, whatever you do, keep that four-letter word safe in your plans. Next slide, please. AARP created this workshop because they are committed to help you make a home comfortable, safe, and a great fit for older adults and also people of all ages. In this session, we're going to cover quite a bit of information. You'll learn about some of the perks of making your home a home fit. We'll talk a little bit about universal design, how to create spaces that are suitable for all people. We will talk about some different areas of the house, exterior doors, some smart features. We'll talk about the kitchen, bathroom, and some living spaces. And then we'll also talk about some fixes that are quick fixes and easy to do. Next slide, please. Imagine if your home could be suitable for any resident of any age, any physical ability, allowing older adults who want to live independently despite changing abilities and evolving needs as we age. This guide is a presentation of some of the information that's created to help people live safely and comfortably in their homes by enabling them to live in a term that's easy to use and sometimes tough to use, a lifelong home, suitable for themselves and others as their household, no matter who is there and what their age, will adjust as their life transitions to older age. Next slide, please. The modifications that we are talking about today will vary in cost and difficulty level. When you consider a month, a private duty health aid could cost you in the area of $5,000 a month. If you would have need of adult daycare, $1,700 to $2,000 a month. Assisted living cost, $4,500 a month, and nursing home in a semi-private room could easily bump $8,000 to $9,000 a month. So when you look at those costs, compare those costs to the cost of modifying your home to make it that lifelong home. Next slide, please. Now we've talked a little bit about what we want to try to accomplish. We're going to talk a little bit about universal design. This term, universal design, may sound a little technical, but it's really it's a simple concept. Universal design is an approach to designing products and environments to accommodate all people, including those with physical, cognitive, and sensory impairments, which covers all ages. And along with it, we're going to introduce a new word called visitability. And we need to keep that in mind because visitability is being sure that our home is friendly for those that want to come and visit. If you have a friend or a family member that may have some mobility challenges, you want to be sure that that person is welcome and easily able to get into your home. So kind of keep that in mind. Uh, Universal design, visibility, and we'll bump into some of these as we go forward in our presentation. Next slide, please. Um, One of the big challenges, and something I want to share, and something I've recently uh, had a challenge with myself. If you or a loved one is in the hospital for whatever reason it may be, and your doctor tells you that I'm going to release you, you are now able to go home. You're excited. You're ready to bail out of the hospital and get home. Your first question is, can I easily get into my house? Do I have steps that I need to negotiate? Are there doors that will cause me a problem? So that's really a good place to start, the entryway into your home. Next slide, please. Before we get to the door, I want to talk a little bit about stairs. Most of our homes, I shouldn't say most, some of our homes have one step, two steps. Some have 5 or 6 steps going into your home. Others may have no steps. You may be flat right into your door. Um, these steps here are called walker steps, and what they are, they're a step that is a reduced height and also an increased depth. These are designed for those of us that will be using a walker, therefore, walker steps. A concept that can make it much easier for us if we're using a walker at home, or for that visitability for that loved one that may want to come and spend time with us. Next slide, please. We're going to talk a little bit about getting to that door again. We've got three ways of getting to that zero step entryway that we're trying to accomplish. You've got on the left picture is a ramp that I'm going to call a permanent ramp, something that you're going to have need to use for many months to come. The center ramp is a portable, something that if you have need for maybe a couple weeks or a month or something like that, can be rented for that period of time. That ramp will be installed and they will come out and get it. Your medical service people, whether it's your doctor, your pharmacist, if you're connected um, with some physical therapists, they can help you locate those. You can also find them online locally. And then the third one on the right, if you have a zero entry door or maybe just an inch or two rise, this is just a little small ramp that also is portable and easily removable when you no longer need it. If you're looking at a ramp and trying to place a ramp, um, the rule of thumb is 12 inches of elevation requires 12 feet of ramp distance. So keep that in mind if you're looking to add a ramp. How can I put a ramp to whatever door? The other part, ramps do not always need to go to your front door. If it's easier to come off a carport or a garage, or if it's easier to come into a back door, take a look at those. Don't get hung up or uh, tunnel vision that it has to come into the front door. Next, please. Some instances, ramps may not be feasible. You may have property setbacks, your house design, any number of things. There are little vertical platform lifts out there that can be installed. These can be installed outside, as this one is shown. They can be installed in a garage or a carport. I was involved in an application where a teenager was in an automotive accident, had some mobility issues, needed some assistance getting in the house. The family put one of these in the garage, adjacent to the two steps going into the kitchen. They were able to back into the garage, help the teenager out of the van onto this platform via wheelchair. The platform lifts up, levels out, and able to access the kitchen. So keep that in mind. Here again, that is can be a permanent item or it can be a leased item. Next slide, please. Um, I neglected to mention to you, those of you that have downloaded the HomeFit Guidebook, and you will see little green stars throughout the book. You'll also see some little green stars on some of our slides. Take a look at those stars. They're indicating some items that could be considered as quick fixes. They're not as costly as others. Most of these you can do yourself or with a little bit of assistance. So take a look at those. We've talked a little bit about how to get you to that door. And now we're going to talk a little bit about what happens outside the door and inside the door. Take note of the bench to the right of the door, and we're going to talk about that a little later in another slide. Next slide, please. Give me a second. I appear to have a slide out of place on mine. We also talk a little bit, and we'll go a little more in depth later on uh, electronic tools, the intelligent tools that we have out there, whether it's a Ring doorbell per se, or a video camera, or whether our lights are controlled. This is an area that can be very helpful, but it's an area that continually changes. So this is one that I really suggest that you get into yourself. Next slide, please. This is a picture of, and if you would, an automated light. Uh, you can have your light connected to your phone. You can have your light on a timer switch. You can have your light on a motion detector. It's just an easier way of making things easier for you. You'll also see the thermostat that can also be controlled by your phone or by timer. These are things that can make life a little easier for you. You know, thermostat bringing your heat up in the winter before you reach that room. The light being on a motion detector when you walk into that room. the room is lit for you, minimizing opportunities to fall. Next slide, please. The need for wider doors come to play when you have mobility issues, using a wheelchair, some walkers. Our target on our door openings is 32 inches for most wheelchairs. And most doors do not have that clearance. This is a mechanical way of giving you that additional clearance. It's a clear uh, hinge. What it does, it allows the door to freely open to give you that clear space to bring that wheelchair in. Here again, a fairly quick fix, and can be located at a big box store or any of your hardwares. Next slide, please. You know, going back to an earlier slide, if you look at this door, um, it doesn't have a glass panel. It doesn't have a peephole. You do not have side lights. I'm saying this doorbell button doesn't have a camera in it. How do you see who your visitor is? This is a safety item. How do you know that it's safe to open that door? Peephole can be easily added. The new doorbell cameras can be easily added. Consider those to make that entryway safer for you. Also take a look at lighting. Make sure you have adequate lighting in front. That's to recognize visitors, who they are, but it's also to make it safer for your visitors to come into your home. Also be sure that your house numbers are close to your door. Um, Many of us have them on our mailbox, but it really is advantageous to have them mailbox and also at your front door, which can be lit. Which, if you have a need for emergency service, be much easier to locate your home and give you that service. Um, Mentioning that bench to the right. Um, this door is your main door of entrance, or if you have a garage door that's the main door of entrance, consider putting some kind of a landing pad by that door. This will make it easier to put a sack of groceries down, put a purse down, or whatever you may be carrying. Makes it a little bit easier for you to use the keys to unlock that door and to get in. Consider that landing pad. It may not seem critical or important, but it really does make unlocking that door easier. Next slide, please. Once you get in the door, we got some similar things going on. Many homeowners today take their shoes off as soon as they come in the door. As we age, it gets tougher to kick those shoes off or put those shoes back on standing. So consider putting a small seat, a bench, close to your entry door. Also, it can be used as a landing pad. When you come in, you're unlocked, you got your groceries in it, set those groceries down, shut your door, and lock your door before you proceed into the rest of your house. You may want to add a place for a purse or a place for your keys. So you always can easily locate those. You may want to store some clothes. Make that area easy for you. Remember, this is your home. You need to incorporate those items that will make it safer for you to live and make it easier for you to live. Next slide. Work areas. Most of our homes are set up for us to work either at a kitchen counter, a kitchen island, And those heights really require us to be standing up at that counter, whether it's preparing food or, I get in the bad habit when I bring the mail in. I toss the mail on the island, and that's where I look at the mail. If you are experiencing some challenges in standing or some challenges in balance, consider taking a cabinet section out of your cabinet and lowering it and giving you a place to sit down and prepare your food. Maybe even a place if you're writing checks or doing any correspondence, it can be a small desk. I worked with a client not long ago that wanted to do this, but they were concerned about resale value in taking that cabinet out and lowering the countertop. Talking with a realtor, the realtor felt that anything that is being done to make that home more age friendly was a benefit, not a detriment. The homeowner decided to go ahead and store the cabinet they had removed so they could put it back in at a later time. And their countertop, that worktop, is coordinated with their old counters. So if they have need, they can slide the old cabinet in, put the countertop on, and it looks almost original. So consider that if you're having some challenges standing at your kitchen and preparing food. Next slide, please. I'm going to back up half a second, but leave the slide there. Lowering that counter also goes back to visitability. You may have some members coming in that want to assist you in the kitchen, but have difficulty. We have grandchildren that come in and are very helpful in the kitchen, and they stand on a kitchen stool, which is a little unsafe. But, consider that. There are many things to consider in making a kitchen accessible. And they can range from real easy fixes to harder remodels that may require professional's help. Uh, some quick fixes in the kitchen include reorienting adjustable lighting. Maybe you have some under counter lighting already that you can relocate. Or you can add the little stick-on puck lights underneath your kitchen cabinets to give you better lighting and more lighting in your work areas. Some of your modifications may require professional help, those being cabinet changes. Um, you may want to relocate some of the tools that you're using, some favorite pots and pans that may be on a lower shelf. You may want to take a look at putting them on a shelf that may be holding some plates that you hardly ever use. Or you may want to take a look at adding some drawers. There are many, many, many upgrades to a kitchen that can be located online, or here again, going to your hardware or your big box store that can minimize those bending overs or those reaching into the back of those base cabinets. Next slide, please. This is one of the things that we have really incorporated is a change of handles and hardware. Uh, we have changed our kitchen cabinets, pulls and door pulls and drawer pulls into what's called a D pull. It's so much easier to slide a finger behind that little bar and open that door or drawer as it is to try to capture that knob. Very, very challenging. Um, all our faucets in our home have their lever action. Now the new trend is uh, light touch censored. You can even have temperature controls. So there's a lot of things out there to make that easier also, and it keeps changing, it keeps evolving. Next slide. When you're considering appliances, there are many options with helpful features to choose from. There are also a few features to be mindful of when considering safety and convenience. Excuse me. Although placing the microwave above the oven might be a space saver, it can be dangerous. Uh, Lifting and lowering heavy and often hot cookware can be difficult. It can result in spills or possibly even injuries. A countertop microwave oven or one built in at a height that's safer and easier to access may be something for consideration. When thinking about stoves, consider those models that have the controls at the front of the unit as opposed to in the back of the unit. Makes it easier, makes it safer. You're not reaching over hot burners. You're not reaching over hot pans that may have boiling water or something like that in. Um, Also, with your controls in the back, remember as you reach across that burner, whether it's gas or electric or something hot in a pan, don't allow a sleeve of a sweater or shirt or blouse or anything come in contact. We really would hate to create a fire. Top and bottom oven ranges are very helpful. Used to be we looked at these because we had big families and we needed the dual range. Now they're being designed with that upper oven being a uh, small meal oven and makes it easier to get in and out, minimizes that bending over and reaching over that oven door. Another consideration. Drawer style appliances. Appliances can be very big. They can be much smaller. So if you're replacing a counter height appliance, consider a smaller one, something that you can put in a cabinet and pull out easier. Something that maybe you can slide under your cabinet and pull out as you need that. Um, French style refrigerators are good. They bring things more to an easier reach for you. These are just some suggestions, but remember, it goes back to what can be of help to you. Next slide, please. Bathrooms. We could have spent the whole hour period of time talking about bathrooms. This is an area that many accidents. I've read data that bathrooms is the number one area for falls, slips and falls, and we can all consider that. Um, this is just a very basic slide. Um, if you have need of assistance using the commode, um, the slide in the upper left is a quick fix. It's a temporary fix. Um, the one directly below it is called a comfort height toilet. Um, as we age, we have some challenges in sitting down on chairs. We have challenges in raising up from chairs. This toilet is designed, it's a roughly 3.5 inches taller than a traditional height toilet. There are a number of ways that you can accomplish this. This picture here shows where they've taken their toilet that they're using, bought a platform. Here again, for many of your big box or hardware stores, put the platform down, secure it to the floor. You're able to secure your present toilet, and you have a raised height toilet. You can purchase a one unit raised height toilet that has probably going to be in the $400 to $500 range. And you can also buy a seat that mounts to your present toilet that gives you that additional 3.5 inches. One I don't say drawback, but one thing you may still want to consider is locating a frame that mounts around your toilet that gives you armrests, something to help steady yourself as you're setting. or help you to rise up. Something for consideration. Upper right, as we age, we have difficulty, may have difficulty bathing, standing while we're bathing. This picture here just shows a very simple bench in a shower area. It also shows a handheld wand for bathing. Very, very helpful. Um, those two areas, to me, are worth considering. The third one, I guess I would put this one right up there with those two also. Transferring from outside of your bathtub into your bathtub. If you have a tub, we all know that it is a challenge to step up and over. It's a challenge entering. The tub may be slippery. You may not have adequate uh, uh, pads or cushions or whatever you have to help you minimize the slipperiness. And it's going to be slippery coming out, being wet. But this little chair at the bottom right, it's called a transfer chair. And what it is, as you're looking at it, the front legs sit outside the tub, the back legs sit inside. The seat itself is movable. You sit down on it, you slide over, step one leg across your tub, slide a little bit more, and step the other leg over, and you are in the tub. You can use this as the bench if you wish. When you're done, just do the reverse. You can towel off inside the tub, or you can work your way back out. One leg over the tub, slide over, the other leg over, slide over, and you are safely out of the tub. So that's a big consideration if you're having challenges getting in and out of your tub. Next, please. Handholds. Most of the hotels that we've all stayed in over the years have at least one handhold in the bathtub or in the shower. Um, though adequate, though helpful, I recommend that you also look at putting a handhold or a safety bar outside of your tub where you can grab to help you make that step. Um, grab bars or handholds now are becoming much more attractive. You can get them in many shapes, many sizes, many colors. They can be multifunctional, as the toilet paper holder here is, or as a soap dish is. So they're no longer an ugly add-on to your bathroom. So take a real serious look at those. Um, I do not, and I highly recommend against installing handholds that are secured using a vacuum. They found to be very unreliable, very unsafe. So you really need to look at something that is permanent. Um, do not install handholds using anchors into drywall. If you happen to slip and fall, there's a real good chance that those drywall anchors will pull out of the drywall. Um, try to locate a stud. Many homes have a plywood backing in these areas where you would want to install a handhold, but just be careful how they're installed. There are some anchors out there that have better holding strength, but just be careful in doing such. Um, it was pointed out a couple of weeks ago at a presentation that handholds aren't only for bathrooms. There are other places, and I inquired as to where they were using them, and it was shared with me that um, they have two steps coming from their garage into their kitchen, and they have installed a handhold adjacent to the door on the garage side that helps them make those steps into the kitchen. So A good point. Any place that can help you feel safer and assist your mobility is great to use. Here again, I remind you, this is your home. Make it safe and more livable for you. Next slide, please. Living areas. There's a lot of things that are going on in living areas, whether it's a family room, a living room, a dining room. Here you can see some of those little green stars that are there. The lower right-hand corner, if you have area rugs, if you have aesthetic rugs, throw rugs, if you will, down, be sure that they are properly secured and they do not create a tripping hazard. Many of us use extension cords. Um, make sure that, here again, your extension cords are properly secured. You do not want to trip over an extension cord. Many years ago, there was a law that came out that all wall entertainment centers, all chest drawers, needed to be secured to the wall. And that law was put in because young children found entertainment centers an easy place to climb on. And so to minimize that tipping, this law went into place. I also think it's a good idea for us as we age to consider that. If you would happen to stumble, if I would happen to stumble, any of us, we're going to reach for something to help secure us. Um, I would hate to reach for a bookcase or an entertainment center or a curio cabinet and have that come down on us. So, consider that. Proper lighting is a big asset in these living areas. Um, Also, if at all possible, keep your blinds and your drapes open. Natural lighting is a big help. It's pretty much cost free. It makes us feel better, but it also gives us that lighting in an area. If you have cabinets or end tables, anything that has sharp corners, you can get little bumpers that will secure that corner. So if we would happen to trip or fall, uh, we would catch that bumper as opposed to catching that sharp corner. Next slide, please. This is one thing that we are doing in our house. Our house is 40 plus years old, and our light switches, our plug covers, and everything were the old beige color, and then they've kind of turned yellow. So we're in the process of replacing them with white. But what I'm doing on switches, instead of going with the old flip switch up and down, I'm going to these toggle switches. It's so much easier to just punch a finger on either side of that toggle to turn on or turn off. So consider that if you need to upgrade. You don't need to change color, but if you need to change a switch, take a look at this. Or if you have difficulty with some dexterity, take a look at this. That little bit goes a long way. Another thing that I think, and we'll look a little closer when we get into stairway, but hallway lighting and stairway lighting, or any area that you pass frequently, maybe late afternoon in the winter when it starts to get dark, early or in the evening when it is dark, or at night if you're traveling your house. Look at motion sensor lighting, or look at lighting that comes on when it gets dark. More light is better, especially in travel area. And as we age, we have a tendency of not sleeping real well at times. And we would get up and possibly go into a living room or a family room or a den to sit in our recliner, or maybe even look at TV or what have you. So having those lights there or having them come on as you're getting ready to pass are a huge help. Next slide, please. Stairway. To me, it's almost as important as what we look at in the bathroom. If at all possible, have handrails, excuse me, on both sides of the stairs. Just, if you have it on one side, and if you happen to have injury, shoulder surgery or broken arm or something like that, either up or down, you're going to put that injured arm on that side to try to hold on to that handrail as you transition up or down. So consider that. Stair covering. Just be sure whatever your choice of stair covering is, that it's good quality. I hear people say, well, you need to have wooden stairs because the carpet stairs could cause a trip. Well, wooden stairs can be very slippery. Carpets can be very tough. So you really need to be careful in maneuvering your stairs. Um, some like to go barefoot. Some like to wear house slippers. Whatever. Some like to wear socks. So whatever your choice, be sure if you have stairs that they're conducive, that foot covering is conducive to going up and down the steps. If at all possible, have lights at the top and bottom of your stairs. Light switches at the top and bottom of your stairs. Older homes probably doesn't have any lighting as halfway up the stairs or a third of the way up. Take a look at the little adhesive back lights that you can put in that will pick up, battery will charge during the day when it's daylight. It really is important to have as much lighting on that stair as possible. As mentioned, make sure your handrails are good. Make sure um, your top step and bottom step is well defined. Uh, Many commercial places, we don't see this a lot at homes, but in commercial places, you have the same color finish on the stairs as what you do the flooring at the bottom or flooring at the top. Very difficult to see where that first step is or that last step is. So take a look at that and consider that even when you're out and about. Next slide, please. Um, there may come a time when you have some really challenges maneuvering stairs, and you need to go to a stair lift such as this. And here in our home, we're in that process now. Um, my father-in-law is with us, and he's still able to transition the stairs, but it's getting to be more and more of a challenge. So we are investigating a chairlift, and there's such a wide range of these available, and there's also home elevators now that have become cost effective. So if you have space that you can set aside for roughly 3 foot square for a home elevator to go from floor to floor, another consideration. But remember that, and I'm going to throw a number, $3,000 for that uh, air chair is much less than falling, tumbling down the stairs, breaking a hip, and being in assisted living or a recovery program at $7,000-8,000 a month. A good comparison. Be pre-prepared for things to happen. Next slide, please. Talk a little bit about laundry rooms. This is a challenge. Some of us have them in the basements. Some of us have them on the second floor. Some of us have them on the main floor. Um, Raising your washer and dryer can be a big help. minimizes that bending over and reaching, especially with their front load. Um, Positioning materials for usability. Um, Mentioned on my last presentation the importance of having a laundry basket. And one of the attendees mentioned that she carries a laundry basket to and from, and even climbs stairs carrying a laundry basket. And we talked a little bit about some of the challenges of that, of carrying a basket a little bit off balance. You're not able to see what's right in front of you. Um, wasn't sure how she was going to take care of the stairs. She definitely was going to be looking for a laundry cart so she could push it. It would help her keep her balance, and it would really minimize opportunities for tripping and falling. Next slide, please. If you remember at the beginning, I mentioned that our goal today was to help you identify at least one quick fix, a quick fix item that you can take on right now. Um, I hope you've been thinking about that. Um, Great place to start, something simple. If you have already downloaded your HomeFit guide, these slides follow that. And looking at that guide, here again, remember those green stars. Those are some of those quick fixes. You may want to add some additional lighting under your kitchen cabinets. You may want to take a look at putting the bath chair. You may want to add some lights on your stairs. So take a look at those. If you're not quite sure where you want to start, grab that HomeFit Guidebook. It's set up by areas, and just open it to a room in your house and just kind of look at the suggestions that are in that book. When we put that book together, uh, it was a team of 40 some people, ranging. There were physical therapists, there were certified aging in place specialists, there were educators, there were uh, people that were experiencing these challenges. So it was a lot of great information and great input from people that are experiencing, people that know how to fix it. Um, you can get that guidebook at aarp.org/homefit, and it'll take you right there. Um, One thing in addition to the guidebook, it's talking with your friends, talking with your family. Uh, Whatever you may be experiencing as your challenge, you're not the first one to experience that. Talk with people around you. People will have solutions for you. Next slide, please. While we're getting close to wrapping up, here again, AARP has got a tremendous amount of free information on livabilities, things to do in your community. The HomeFit Guidebook, I really recommend you downloading. If you're unable to download, order a copy. It's free. It'll come to you in a couple weeks. Here again, very, very helpful. There's another program that AARP has. It's called Here to Stay. Um, Take a look at that. It's great. The people that are involved in this program, quarterly, they will send an email telling you, okay, we're getting into summer. Here's just some things that you should look for around your house that you may want to address. It may be making sure you don't have weeds and leaves around your air conditioner. It may be a reminder to change from storm windows to screens. Some very simple things, but they jog us because we forget about those things. We're so busy in doing things that we forget about some of the things we need to do for ourselves. Um, If you have questions, reach out to an occupational therapist. They're very helpful. If you're not able to locate one, talk to your doctor. Talk to your pharmacist the next time you renew a prescription or pick up a prescription. Also, reach out to certified aging in place specialists. We go through some extensive training, recognizing and addressing these issues. So reach out to the people around you. Go to your big box store people. Go to your hardware people. Share with them a challenge that you may be having. They should be able to help you, and they should be happy to help you. Next slide. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, this workshop, and that the information and the resources that I've shared you will find helpful and of value. We've reviewed some of the perks of staying in your home, and I think the biggest perk is none of us want to relocate. We all want to stay in our home. For many of us, it's been home for many, many years, and we'd like it to be home for many, many more years. Universal design, we talked a little bit about that, and it's not complex. It is simplistic design to make life easier for us. Visitability, remember, your home needs to be friendly for others. So take that in mind. And take the HomeFit tour. Download that guidebook, save it, look at it as you need to, use it as a discussion. It's 36 pages long. It's colorful. It is very helpful, easy to read, easy to work through. And again, it's at aarp.org /HomeFit. Next slide, please. I want to put a plug in here, and the state of North Carolina and AARP have introduced or kicked off an initiative called Age My Way North Carolina. And it's collaborative between the state and AARP. And the big question comes, is North Carolina ready for us as we age? And being involved at the state, being involved with Senior Tar Heels and a couple of the other things, I don't know if most of us in the state recognize how many of us are aging and at what point there's going to be more people 60, 65 and older than there are people under 18. That's not far away. So we're asking you to take a little time, share this link, go on to the survey and take some time. You know, it's asking you questions about what you're seeing in your day to day, in your neighborhood, in the town of Jamestown, or as you travel through the county, or as you travel through the state. It's your opportunity to be part of going forward. And so please take time. You can download it here. I do appreciate you for doing that, and I think once you get through the survey, you'll recognize its importance. Next slide, please. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate your time. I hope you have found it to be valuable. With this type of format, it's hard for me to answer questions, but if you have them, please reach out to the people around you. Talk. If the town of Jamestown is agreeable, you can go ahead and drop off a question to me. They have my contact information, and I'd be happy to address that for you. Have a wonderful day. Best of luck in your aging journey, and get ready for this beautiful weekend. But we still got a little bit of rain. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon.